Ford just quietly deleted an engine that's been in F-150s for over a decade, and almost nobody noticed until the order guide leaked. I'm talking about the 2.7 EcoBoost, gone, marked as discontinued, and what's replacing it is not a small tweak. It's a completely different V6 that most F-150 shoppers have never even heard of. If you're thinking about buying a new F-150 in the next year, or you're trying to figure out what a 2027 model actually means for resale on your current truck, stick with me, because this order guide has more changes buried in it than Ford has put out in a regular model year in a long time. Let's start with the engine, because that's the headline, but it's not the whole story. The outgoing 2.7 EcoBoost has been the workhorse mid-tier engine on this truck since the 2015 redesign. Reliable, torquey enough for most owners, and cheaper than stepping up to the 3.5. For 2027, it's simply not on the order sheet anymore. In its place is a new 3.0-liter EcoBoost V6, and this isn't some brand new unproven design. It's related to the twin-turbo 6 that Ford already builds for the Ranger Raptor, where it's rated at 405 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. Now I want to be straight with you here. Ford has not published official horsepower, torque, or fuel economy numbers for the truck version of this engine yet. Those fields are still listed as to be determined in the preliminary paperwork. A full-size half-ton truck has different cooling demands, different turbo calibration needs, and a different duty cycle than a mid-size off-road truck, so don't assume the F-150 version will land at exactly those figures. What we do know is the outgoing 2.7 made 325 horsepower, and this new engine family is clearly capable of putting out considerably more than that. Even if Ford dials it back for durability reasons, this is very likely to be the strongest base-adjacent engine this truck has ever offered. Here's the part that surprised me the most, and it's the kind of detail you only catch if you actually read an order guide line by line instead of skimming a press release. This 3.0 isn't a boutique option buried on one trim, it becomes the standard engine across a huge chunk of the lineup. We're talking both wheelbases of the base XL, both STX groups, all three XLT groups, and the two entry-level Lariat configurations. That means the engine most retail buyers will actually drive off the lot in 2027 is not the old familiar 2.7, and it's not a step-up 3.5. It's this new 6 that almost nobody outside the industry press has been talking about. Meanwhile, the 5.0 V8 stays standard on the short wheelbase regular cab XL, the 3.5 EcoBoost holds its ground on the longer XL and the top Lariat group, and King Ranch, Platinum, Tremor, and Raptor all continue with their existing standard engines. So this isn't a case of one engine replacing everything, it's a very specific, very deliberate repositioning of where the 2.7 used to sit in the lineup. Now why would Ford do this a year before the truck's actual full redesign? Because that's the other twist here. The next full platform redesign for the F-150 was reportedly pushed back, partly because of tariff pressure and aluminum supply issues tied to a supplier fire, and the industry expectation right now points to that bigger redesign landing around 2028, not 2027. So on paper, the 2027 truck should have been a fairly quiet, forgettable model year. Instead, Ford appears to be pulling a major powertrain change forward by a year. My read on that, and this is informed speculation, not a confirmed Ford statement, is that engine supplier agreements were probably locked in on a timeline that didn't want to wait for the redesign. We've actually seen this exact pattern before in the truck world. Nissan did something similar with the Frontier, bringing a new V6 online a year ahead of that truck's full redesign because the supply chain was already committed. It's a smart move if you're Ford, because it lets you test a brand new engine at high volume in a familiar chassis before you also ask it to work in an all-new platform. If you're cross-shopping, here's where it gets practical. If a 3.0-liter EcoBoost F-150 is going to be your daily work truck, and you tow regularly, pay close attention to one restriction buried deep in this order guide. The full tow/haul package is not available in combination with the new 3.0 engine. You can still get an integrated trailer brake controller on it, but the complete towing package Ford usually recommends for trailer work is off the table with this engine for now. That's the kind of detail that won't show up on a window sticker at a glance, and it's exactly the kind of thing a salesperson might not mention unless you ask directly. If towing capacity and trailer electronics matter to your use case, that's a real factor in deciding between the 3.0 and stepping up to the 3.5. Let's talk about the Tremor, because Ford is doing something here that's honestly pretty clever from a pricing standpoint. For 2026, the Tremor lineup starts at one equipment level. For 2027, Ford is adding a lower content tier underneath it, and I want to be clear about what that actually means, because lower content does not mean less capable off-road. This new entry Tremor keeps the hardware that makes a Tremor a Tremor. You're still getting the electronic locking rear axle, the off-road tuned shocks, the unique control arms and knuckles, the increased ride height, the skid plates, the front and rear tow hooks, 33-inch all-terrain tires, and the full suite of off-road drive modes including rock crawl and trail turn assist. What you're giving up to hit that lower price point is comfort and convenience equipment. Cloth seats instead of leather, a column shifter instead of console mounted, no power seats, no heated seats, no dual zone climate, no upgraded audio system, and the advanced driver assist suite is scaled back too. The V8 option isn't available at this base tier either. You'd need to move up one level to get it. So if you've been priced out of a Tremor, and you genuinely care more about what's underneath the truck than what's inside the cabin, this new tier is worth watching closely once pricing comes out. Ford is running the exact same playbook on the Raptor, which tells you this is a deliberate lineup strategy, not a one-off. A new entry-level Raptor group slots in below the existing configurations and below the supercharged V8 Raptor R, and again, this isn't a soft Raptor. It keeps the high-output version of the 3.5 EcoBoost, the live valve suspension system, 35-inch tires, and the wide Raptor bodywork. It even keeps heated and ventilated leather seats, which honestly surprised me for an entry tier. What gets trimmed is the 14-speaker premium audio system, the head-up display, a mobile office package, memory settings on the power pedals and steering column, heated rear seats, and some of the onboard power output capacity drops from 2 kilowatts down to 400 watts. So you're not sacrificing the truck's actual off-road performance to save money here, you're sacrificing creature comforts. That's an important distinction if you're the kind of buyer who wants Raptor capability without paying for every last convenience feature. Now let's talk about the changes that are less exciting but will absolutely affect what you can actually order. The higher trim XLT group is being eliminated entirely, with the lineup consolidating down to 3 XLT levels instead of 4. Some of what used to be bundled into that top XLT package, like the upgraded audio system, becomes an individual option instead, and the driver assist technology package that includes adaptive cruise, lane centering, and trailer backup assist now comes standard on the remaining top XLT tier. On the STX side, the dedicated off-road FX4 trim as its own separate equipment group disappears too, but the FX4 package itself isn't gone. It becomes an option you add onto the base STX configuration instead of a standalone trim. And if you're eyeing a Lariat Super Crew with the longer bed and wheelbase, know that Ford is narrowing your options there. That configuration is no longer available on the base Lariat trim at all, and if you want it on the next trim up, you're required to also add one of two specific appearance packages. The 3.0-liter engine isn't even offered on that longer four-wheel drive Lariat configuration, so the 3.5 becomes your only path there. Here's a genuine bright spot if you're a V8 loyalist. The 5.0-liter V8 is expanding upward. It's now available as an option on King Ranch and Platinum, trims where previously your engine choice was limited to the EcoBoost or the hybrid. That gives premium buyers 3 distinct powertrain personalities to choose from on the same truck: EcoBoost efficiency, V8 simplicity, or PowerBoost hybrid capability. If you've always wanted a fully loaded top-trim F-150 with a naturally aspirated V8 under the hood instead of turbos, 2027 is shaping up to be your year. Even the paint and appearance options got a shuffle, and while that sounds minor, it actually matters if you care about how your truck holds value down the road. 3 new exterior colors are joining the palette, while a few existing shades are getting discontinued entirely, including one of the metallic blues that's been popular on recent Lariat and King Ranch builds. Discontinued colors on trucks tend to become a little more sought after on the used market a few years down the line, so if you own one of those outgoing shades, that's a small silver lining. Ford is also adding a new chrome appearance package for the Lariat and a dealer-installed larger wheel option finished in a darker tone, while one of the blackout appearance packages on the STX is going away, mostly because the standard STX already comes with enough black trim and dark wheels that the separate package became redundant. One more thing worth knowing before you walk into a dealership. Ford appears to be building in factory-level discounts tied to specific configurations right into this order guide, rather than announcing separate cash incentives later. Certain STX, XLT, and Lariat builds carry built-in savings when ordered with particular engines or equipment groups. That's a strong signal Ford wants to steer volume toward specific combinations, and if your build happens to line up with one of those preferred configurations, you could end up with a genuinely better deal than you'd expect on a brand new model year truck. So here's the bottom line. The 2027 F-150 was supposed to be a placeholder year before the real redesign lands, Instead, it's getting the most significant engine change this truck has seen in over a decade, smarter entry points into two of its most desirable performance trims, and a lineup that's been quietly reorganized in ways that will absolutely affect what shows up on your local dealer's lot. Official pricing hasn't been announced yet, and horsepower and torque numbers for that new 3.0 are still pending, so if you're planning to order one, it's worth waiting for those final numbers before you commit. If you're currently driving a 2.7 EcoBoost F-150, this is also a good moment to have a mechanic check yours over, because that engine's production run just got a defined end date, and that tends to affect parts pricing and resale value down the road. A discontinued engine usually still gets solid factory support for years, since Ford has to stock parts for millions of trucks already on the road, but it's worth staying current on your maintenance schedule and not deferring things like turbo-related services or timing component inspections, since those become more relevant to resale value once an engine is no longer the current production option. And if you're shopping used right now, and specifically comparing a 2.7 EcoBoost truck against a 3.5, don't let the fact that one engine is going away scare you off a good deal. The 2.7 has a solid track record in this truck, and being discontinued doesn't mean being unsupported. It just means Ford's attention and its marketing dollars are about to shift toward the new 3.0. If you're cross-shopping a current F-150 against waiting for the 2027, or if you've already got one of these order guides in hand from your dealer, drop a comment and let me know what configuration you're looking at. I read every one of them. And if you want the pricing numbers the second Ford releases them, along with the real horsepower figures once they're official, hit subscribe so you don't miss it.